This is Sudden Impact. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sudden Impact, where I, John, bring you the news about TNA Wrestling. So in today's news, an update on Mike Bailey's contract, Steve Maclin possibly returning to NXT, the reason for JBL's returns to wrestling, and more matches added to the Turning Point event. So, without further ado, let's get started. But first, are you liking this video? Want to see more? Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It's free and helps me produce more videos like this. Go ahead and do it so I can continue to bring you the news from TNA Wrestling. So, our first story was, as it was revealed last week, Mike Bailey had departed TNA and was expected to sign for All Elite Wrestling due to his contract with TNA expiring on November 1st. Fightful Select is reporting, however, that Bailey's current TNA contract is not quite finished, even though he made his last appearance for the company at the post Bound for Glory tapings in Detroit. Now, the Fightful Select report says that Bailey is able to talk to companies outside TNA in November. However, this means that he will not be appearing in the AEW Continental Classic, which begins this coming Wednesday. Even though he has probably signed with AEW, so I'm not sure what to make of this news, as it is very unlike TNA to keep wrestlers from signing with another company after the wrestler leaves the company or their contract ends. But I guess they're just protecting themselves at this point from being shortchanged. Now, Steve Maclin claims if he is ever sent to NXT to represent TNA as the NXT partnership and TNA partnership continues, he, in his own words, is going to be coming in a little meaner and a little bit more aggressive than fans are used to seeing him. So speaking on the A to the K wrestling show, he responded when asked if and when he'll reappear in NXT to represent TNA, with "when the time is right." Now, I'm all for this, as Maclin has a point to prove if he does wind up on NXT as part of the TNA partnership. Because you may remember that he was let go from NXT and WWE early on in the pandemic, citing, he wasn't part of the budget cuts, but he was part of the firing or the release, which happened when Jackson Riker, the former TNA gunner, went off and made some controversial remarks on social media. So he was the collateral damage from those remarks, and both he and Forgotten Sons member Wesley Blake were also released as a result of those comments being made. The next story is like JBL has the wrestling world scratching their heads with his sudden returns to several companies, including AAA, MLW, TNA, and several more. So what made these appearances shocking is that they were all non-advertised. Well, during an appearance on the Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard podcast, JBL claims that he is just getting warmed up. Now, during this appearance, he credited Bruce Pritchard himself as being the person who gave him the idea for these surprise appearances. Now, JBL would go on to say, all that stuff that I'm doing on the independents, the stuff that I'm doing on social media, I've got some pretty cool stuff coming up. We're going to do a lot more things, and there is an end game to this. So this is an interesting way to bring JBL back into the wrestling world. And with him with JBL also being revealed as part of the new AAA management team recently. So I'm very intrigued to see how all of these sudden returns tie in together, and what the eventual end game is for this all these appearances. And finally, the Turning Point event is coming together very nicely with several matches already announced. So these include the Hardys and Ace Austin facing the Rascals and Kushida in an all-star 6-man tag team showdown. Steve Maclin goes one-on-one with Walking Weapon Josh Alexander in a no DQ match, hoping to settle his heated feud with Alexander once and for all, basically. The annual Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl match featuring John Schuyler, PCO, Joe Hendry, Eric Young, Brian Myers, and Hammerstone. The Knockouts World Championship match between Jordan Grace, who invoked her rematch clause after losing the championship at Bound for Glory. Now, she will face either the winner of, well, the champion, either Marsha Slamovich or Alicia Edwards, depending on the outcome of their match on this week's episode of Impact. Also, Nick Nemeth will be defending his world championship against the System's Eddie Edwards. So these matches look like an exciting way to celebrate the Thanksgiving weekend. Now, you can watch Turning Point on TNA Plus or on Triller TV on Saturday the 29th of November as part of the WrestleCage convention taking place in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So that's all for this episode. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Leave your comments down below and ring the bell for notification on new videos. Until next time, I'm John, and this has been Sudden Impact.